Hello students, welcome back to our session. Today I am going to explain about the input validation loops concept. So if you enter any input through the keyboard, that input how to validate by using looping statements. So like that concept we need to discuss in this session. Now let us start our session. Okay. So input validation loops. Input validation loops are nothing but if the user may enter any input, if the user may enter any input, maybe it is a number or maybe it is a group of characters like that your names. So that entered input how to validate by the looping statement, how to validate by the looping statements. So in this session we will discuss about that. One of the most important tasks among the computer programmers is garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. Sometimes it is abbreviated as a GIGO, G-I-G-O. So the first characters, garbage in, garbage out. So garbage in, GI means garbage in, GO means garbage out. So what is the garbage here? In every program while executing time it is using temporary memory. It is using a temporary memory is nothing but RAM memory. So if any input user may enter, that input is first stored into the RAM memory, nothing but a temporary memory. After usage completion, that input after usage of completion, immediately it will going to garbage. Garbage is nothing but garbage cleaner. Okay, na? Garbage is nothing but some wastage content. That content is going to after completion of our usage, it will go to the garbage section. Garbage section is nothing but deleting process, deleting from the temporary memory because of the usage has completed now. So after that, why we need to use that one again? So not required. So like that related objects going to garbage collection. So that is the meaning of this one, garbage in, garbage out. మనం ఎంటర్ చేసిన ప్రతి ఇన్పుట్, ప్రతి ఆపరేషన్ కూడా ఫస్ట్ ఇట్ విల్ స్టోర్ ఇన్ టు ద RAM memory. After completion of our usage, then immediately that related objects going to garbage. Nothing but a cleaning process is going on behind. So that process is called garbage in, garbage out. When we enter the input, that is coming into the garbage in section. When the operation has completed by that input, immediately it will go to the garbage out section, nothing but a cleaning process of section. Understand? So that is the meaning of garbage in, garbage out. So it is the short form of garbage in, garbage out, GIGO, GIGO. It is the short form of GIGO for that garbage in, garbage out. Next, it refers one fact that computers cannot tell the difference between good data and bad data. For example, if you enter any input, immediately the program it will accept. Because of syntactically that is right. For example, the program will ask enter your name. So by reading that line, enter your name, immediately you enter your name now. But instead of your name, you may enter numbers also. Because of syntactically it is right. But at runtime that is not valid input. Because of the program will check only at runtime while executing time, the interpreter just check the syntax is correct, the program syntax is correct or not, the coming input is correct or not, it will check. That's it. Syntactically it is right, it will process that request. But as per our requirement, instead of in the name place, we may enter numbers, but that's not a valid na. Numbers name ku badalu numbers enter cheste adi valid input kaadu. But program accept chestadi endukante syntactically that is also input. So like that, it refers one fact that computers cannot tell the difference between good data and bad data. So computers does not understand what is good data and what is bad data. Every data it will accept, while using the program, which is the good data, which is the bad data, that responsibility need take by the programmer only. Which data is coming, which data is going out, so which is the related data, which is not related data, the differences the programmer need to understand first. That related programs they need to develop. So that is the meaning of input validation loops. If the user provides bad input, it will process the bad data and produce the bad output. Am I correct or not? ప్రోగ్రామ్ మీరు ఏ ఇన్పుట్ పాస్ చేసినా సరే ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇమీడియట్గా యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తుంది. బట్ ఆఫ్టర్ రిసీవింగ్ దట్ ఇన్పుట్ it will show the bad results. It will show the bad results. I mean, not related output it will show. I mean, if you enter instead of name place, if you enter numbers, instead of name place, if you enter any numbers, so that is not a good data, na? Because of while enter your name in that place, if you enter numbers, that is good data, na? No, it is a bad data. We are not understandable data. So compulsory that validations we need to write by using programming languages concepts. Here I given one example. For example, loop at the payroll program given below. Here I given one program. Here I given one program. All of you carefully observe. For your understanding purpose, I am drawing one window also. It is the first output. Here I am writing one program. Print. Enter your name. So while executing time, it will print in the output format. It will print like this. It is command prompt. While executing time, it will show this line, enter your name. Enter your name. So like that. By reading this line in the console while executing time, it will print as it is in a, whatever the line we have configured in the print function. While executing time, this line as it is it will print on the console. So by reading this line, immediately the user may enter their name. For example, for your understanding purpose, here I am entering the name of Pawan. So it is the right way. But instead of this place, I am entering 1, 2, 3, 4. I am entering a group of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So syntactically it is right. Syntactically this process is also right. The input function also it will receive this value also, because of it is expecting only input. Maybe it is a variable, maybe it is a names, or maybe it is a values or any numbers. It will accept. But is it proper data? By reading this line, you enter data is proper data. No, it is bad data. It is not a good data. It is bad data. So like that, computers does not understand which is bad data and which is good data. So that responsibility also, while developing time, the developers need to take that responsibility. So only it will take good data. So like that, we need to develop that related programs. So here I given one example. Practically I will explain here. Don't worry about that. For that I am opening one notepad. Because of this is script program. Script is nothing but open notepad and write your program. In the command prompt, in the console, just we need to execute that one. Direct it will compile and direct it will show direct it will execute. Then you need to pass the input values. Here payroll calculating program I am writing. Input function, what purpose we can use? If you use the input function, it will accept the input. Enter the hours. Hourly calculator program. For example, one employee working. For example, one employee is working hourly based. For example, if he works 10 hours, then per hour the company provides the 40 rupees. So 10 into 40, 400 rupees is the amount company need to pay for the employee. So like that, here I am developing one program. Enter the worked hours. Enter the worked hours. So by reading this line, now I am saving this file, payroll.py. Py is the extension of Python programming language. Now I am saving this file on the desktop. Now I am clicking on the save button to save on the desktop. So okay, it has saved. Now I am opening command prompt for execution purpose. So the location by default is C drive, users folder and Siva folder. Now I need to shift one folder, that is desktop, because of our file is available on the desktop. That's why I am using cd command. Cd means change directory. It is a command prompt commands. DOS command. One directory to other directory. How it will change? By using cd command. So now I am pressing enter. It has shifted to the desktop and our file is available on the desktop here. Now I am executing. What is that name? Payroll. Payroll.py. Okay. Now it is asking enter the worked hours. How many hours you worked? 50 hours. 50 hours. Now I am pressing enter key. So program terminated. Why? Because of in the script file we don't have any other statements to execute. So that's why after reading the input it will store, after reading the input it will terminate the program, because of here we don't have any statements. So after reading the input, whatever the values we have entered here I entered 50 now. After reading this 50 value, where we have to store that one? For that we need to introduce one more variable. Here I am introducing hours. This variable, after reading the value, immediately this input function will transfer and assign to the hours variable. Hours variable. Now hours equal to 50 at this time. After that, again one more function I am writing. One more function. What is that? Input function. Because of how many worked hours you have? 50 hours. But the company, how much amount it is paying? 40 rupees, no? So like that. Sometimes 40 rupees, sometimes 50 rupees, sometimes 60 rupees it will pay. So that for that value also we need to write one input function. Enter hour rate. Enter hour rate. So after reading this value also, we need to store one more variable. We need to store in one more variable. So rate here I am giving. So after reading this value, immediately that value will store into the rate variable. Now I am saving. Again one more time I am executing. So 50 hours I am worked. The employee worked. And next hourly rate 40 or 20. Okay. So here also terminated the program, because of here we have written only two statements. Now I am multiplying hours into rate. After multiplying these two variables, we need to store that result now. We need to store that amount. So for that amount variable I am introducing here. So after calculating this statement, one value it will get now. That value it will store into the amount variable. Amount variable. After that it need to print now. So amount. Now I am saving again. For that I am pressing the Ctrl S key in the keyboard. And again I am executing. Payroll. 50 hours worked. Per hour 20 rupees. So it is showing one error. What is that? Can't multiply sequence by non-int string. Non-int string. Okay. Because of input function reads the input as a string format. Here compulsory typecasting must and should be required. For that now I am doing typecasting function. So int function. Here also open one bracket and closing one bracket. So then only it will calculate. Otherwise these two are string formats. So strings have will calculate name and name. If you multiply name with name, what it will get? Error it will get. Here we pass in numbers na, so we need to multiply that two values. So for that here typecasting must and should be required. Otherwise otherwise it will get the error like this. Multiply sequence by non-int or type strings. Because of these two are strings, input function can read the input like a string format. So by using strings, we don't have any chance to calculate to multiply those two variables. So for that we need to convert by using casting operator. Here now I am converting int type. So that's why int type casting operator I used here for these two variables. For these two variables. Now I am saving again. Again I am executing. So enter the worked hours is 50 hours. Enter hour rate is 20 rupees. So that 1000 is the total value. So company need to pay for that employee 1000 rupees for 50 hours. The hourly rate is 20 rupees. Now understand now? So this is the format of payroll program. This is the format of payroll program. But here we need to understand one thing. Here we don't have used any looping statements now. Any looping statement, any conditional related statements. So how the input has validated here? Again one more time for your understanding purpose. Again one more time I am executing that same program. So here enter the worked hours. So this application used only company employee, company clerk to calculate the employee working hours. So if he has any work burden, in that time he may confuse. Instead of 50 hours he may enter 500 also. Instead of 50 hours he may enter 500 also. Then after that again one more time enter hour rate 20 rupees same. But what it will get? 10,000 the value it will get. So company need to pay 10,000. In this case employee will be happy, but company will lose this amount because of by did this small mistake. Clerk has did small mistake na. Instead of 50 he entered 500. So for the 500s company has to pay this amount for the employee. So this is the wrong way. Here there is no validation. Am I correct or not? Here there is no validation for input. So that is the process this one. So how to calculate this one? By using looping statements. For that I am entering one more example. So now you understand this example. ఒక వాల్యూ ఎంటర్ చేయడానికి బదులు అదర్ వాల్యూ అంటే పెద్ద వాల్యూస్ ఎంటర్ చేస్తే అమౌంట్ బ్యాంకులు అలాంటివి ఏం చేస్తాయి? పెద్ద అమౌంట్లు పాస్ చేసినప్పుడు ఎక్కువ అమౌంట్ విత్డ్రాకి వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. అప్పుడు బ్యాంక్ లాస్ అవ్వాలి. యూజర్ హ్యాపీగానే ఉంటాడు, బట్ కంపెనీ విల్ లాస్ దట్ అమౌంట్. If it is a small amount, there is no problem. But if it is a big amount, then what they should do? Compulsory input validations are very important in our real-time projects. Otherwise, for example, if you take the bank project, if you withdraw that, if you enter the 1,000 rupees in ATM machine, it will give the 10,000 amount. Then in that case, the user may happy, but bank will lose. Like that, 100 people they may withdraw that amount. So 100 people also they will get that amount. 100 people also will happy, but bank will lose crores of amount, lakhs of amount. Am I correct or not? So that type of problems we need to avoid by using input validations. So how to calculate that? How to use that input validations? For that we need to give the one more line of code. For that here I am calculating one example, score calculation. For your understanding purpose, one more example I am giving here. Input function. In that enter a test score. So this is the function. After receiving the test score, where it will store? Score variable. So here also typecasting operator must and should be required. Otherwise, we don't have any chance to calculate the mathematical operations. So if you want to calculate any mathematical operations, compulsory we need to convert by related casting operators. That related casting operators we need to use in our program. So after reading this line, now I am saving score program.py. Save as type is all files. This is also I am saving in desktop. Here I am executing score.py. It is asking enter a test score. So test score is how much? 50. After entering 50, the program has terminated because of here we don't have any extra lines of code. So for that we need to write remaining code also. While loop I am writing. Here conditions also I am applying along with while loop. Score less than 0 or score greater than 100. Compulsory this condition should be satisfied either less than 0 or greater than 100. If you enter minus values or if you enter more than 100 values, this program will raise the error. Immediately it will ask the again one more time the input. It will expect from the user for the input. So like that I am writing this code. And colon symbol must and should be required. Here one indentation space is also very important for that print. Error, the score cannot be negative. And one more print function or greater than 100 sorry, in single line I am writing, no problem. One print function is enough for that. And next score is equal to, here also an indentation space must and should be required. Here whatever the statements I am writing after while statement, all statements are belongs to while loop. So that's why before you writing that statement, compulsory one indentation space must and should be we need to give. Then only interpreter can understand these all lines belongs to while loop, like a block. Again it will ask same function. So that's why I am copy pasting from here to here. I am saving. All of you carefully observe. Score.py file I am again one more time I am executing. What it is showing or greater than, okay, here I am removing this one and end of the line this I given. Again I am saving. Again one more time I am executing. Enter a test score. If I enter negative value, like here I am entering -1. So what it is showing, what it will show, we need to see. Let us see. So all of you carefully observe. One error it is showing. That error I have configured in the program. So here validation is done by the interpreter. The score cannot be negative or greater than 100. So compulsory you need to enter the right score. Enter a test score. It is asking one more time. It is expecting one more time. So 101 also I am entering because of the 101 is greater than 100 now. So in the program what we have configured, either compulsory less than 0 or greater than 100. You don't need to enter. So that is the program requirement. So in between 1 to 100 we need to enter. So it is asking again one error because of 101 I entered, that is above 100 now. So that error is also handling. Now I am entering 80 is the score. So what it is showing, it is accepted. It has accepted. So like that we need to validate that inputs. మనం ఎంటర్ చేసిన వాల్యూ సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఏదైనా బర్డెన్లో ఉన్నా, ఏదైనా ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్లో ఉన్నా, ఒక్కొక్కసారి మనం ఏం చేస్తాం కన్ఫ్యూజ్లో 10కి బదులు 100 కూడా మెన్షన్ చేస్తాం. దెన్ వాట్ షుడ్ వీ డూ? 100 ఎంటర్ చేసామనుకో, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇట్ ఈస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు బ్యాంక్ ఆర్ మనీ రిలేటెడ్ ఇష్యూస్, దెన్ వీ నీడ్ టు లాస్ దట్ అమౌంట్. సో if you wrongly entered, instead of any 10 instead of 10, if you wrongly entered 100, immediately the program will show the error for you. So then again we need to enter the right value for that. So for that situation, in that situations, we need to write this type of codes for the validation of inputs. Now understand now how to calculate the inputs, how to validate the inputs like that. And this program is also very useful concept for this. So this concept is also over. Next, nested loops. Nested loops are nothing but one loop inside one more loop declaration is called nested loops. One loop is, for example, this is I am closing and this is also I am closing because of it is nested loops concept na. So again paint function I am using. Already conditional statements. In the previous classes we have discussed about the nested conditional statements also we have discussed. So this is if condition, one if condition, and one more if condition here I am writing because of this is also sometimes maybe happened in our programs. So if condition, all of you carefully observe. First the interpreter it will check this condition it will check. If it is true, the control will enter inside if one more if condition is there na. So again it will check if this condition is true, that inside if block will execute. If this condition is false, inside if block is also not executed. Again the control will comes out into the inside loop, and after that it will check into the condition again. Understand? So like that, ఈ కండిషన్ ట్రూ అయితేనే కంట్రోల్ లోపలికి వెళ్తుంది, ఆ తర్వాత ఈ కండిషన్ ట్రూ అయితేనే ఈ బ్లాక్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది, బ్లాక్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్. సో లైక్ దట్ నెస్టెడ్ లూప్స్ ఆల్సో వర్కింగ్ లైక్ దట్. This is outer loop with condition, and this is inner loop. With condition. All of you carefully observe. If this condition is true, then the control will enter into the inside loop. If this condition is true, that loop of statements repeatedly it will execute. But what is the difference between conditional statements, conditional structures and looping statements? This is comparing values. This is repeatedly executed statements, but syntax is almost same, but keywords is also different. Here we used if condition, here we used while loop, for loop, anything. In this outer loop or inner loop section, instead of this one, we can use while loop or for loop. As per our requirement, we may have to use in our current development programs. But condition is common. If this condition is true, then inside control will enter, repeatedly it will execute. And here also it will check the condition again. If this condition is true, repeatedly the inside block will execute number of times. How many times we have configured, that number of times it will repeatedly execute. When this condition is false, the control will comes out into the outer loop and also comes to the, again it will check the condition. If the condition is true, again it will enter. If the condition is false, the control will comes out the loop, and again remaining statements it will execute. So that is the process here. So here I given one example, nested loop for that. This program is completely related to 24 hours execution program, clock program. Here I give, for your understanding purpose, I am giving one comment. This is program name, clock program. Clock is nothing but wall clocks are there na. We are regularly checking our times na. Time. Today time is what? Now time is what? 10:20, 11:20, like that. Wall clocks are displaying this type of values. So this entire program, it is execute. This entire program will execute 24 hours, 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. For that, 3 for loops I have given here. So 24 times the iterations are going on here. After that, because of per day how many hours we have? 24 hours. So if it is true, then the control will enter into the inside for loop. Inside one more for loop is there na? Like that. So again it will check into this condition. So per hour how many minutes we have? 60 minutes. So 60 times iterations are going on here. After that it will check into the again this condition. Per minute how many seconds we have? 60 seconds. So 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours. So up to 24 hours this program will execute. All of you carefully observe. This is outer loop, this is inside loop. Inside loop, one more inside loop we have. So for that I given one space. First I declared normally. After that these three statements are related to this for loop. So that's why I given one spaces here. After that inside for loop purpose one more space, I mean double spaces I given, because of first space is related to first outer loop and second space is related to inner loop. Now understand na? So this print function is completely related to last inside for loop. Last inside for loop. So like that, if you have any requirement, number of looping statements we have to declare. One inside, one inside, one more for loop, one inside, one more for loop, like that. Number of, as per our requirement, we can declare. No problem. It will accept. Python can support. Now understand now? This is called nested loop. One loop inside one more loop declaration is called nested for loop, nested loops. So either we may use any combination, like in for loop we can write while loop also, in while loop we can write for loop also. Like that, if you have any requirements, that number of combinations we can use. Python can support, no problem. Okay, today I'm ending this session. I hope you enjoyed this session, and first unit completely completed, and from the next session onwards we will discuss in the second unit. That is very great concept, call it functions. Okay, thank you very much.